Welcome to Div Tech 101, aka Black Mentors. We discuss information technology, also known as IT. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking to you about a simple project that I was doing with a Raspberry Pi called a breadboard.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Now, with this breadboard that I have here, allows me to plug electrical components on this device by putting power into it. You can put diodes into it. You can put any of these following items that I'm going to be showing you. I have a couple of pieces from a resistor kit as well as some LEDs that we can also add into there, but I'm going to give you just the basic premise of how it works. Now, as we're looking into this breadboard, one of the first things I want to show you for the breadboard itself is when you're looking at it, there's a few key points that you want to pay keenly attention to. Now, when you're looking at the breadboard itself, all it pretty much is a simple device that allows you to plug your power into one side of the board itself, and then each line or row associated with that is going to have power. Now, where most of you are pretty much familiar of when you have a simple thing such as a battery itself, okay? So you have this battery right here, and each time you want to take just some cables and you want to plug the cables directly into the battery portion itself, you don't necessarily have to do that by taking the battery and plugging it directly to like a little motor or device as such. But what we're going to do with the breadboard is we're going to remove the battery portion out, and we're going to basically get this little kit that I have here. And this little kit basically has a little device just like this, and it has batteries, like AA batteries that you can put on the inside. And what you basically do is you can attach this to just about anything that you can imagine, from robotics to any DIY project. And then what you can do is basically take your cabling and you can plug those directly into the breadboard itself, as long as you trim the cables back correctly, and you basically can plug it into there as such. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out just a bit so that you can see it. But what you're basically doing is you're taking one battery to power multiple different devices. Now, there are some other things that I have, such as the ESP I think it's ESP 2255 or 2250. And what that is like a little microcomputer. It's similar to one of the computers that I was showing you all called the Raspberry Pi. But what I'm basically doing is taking the battery power from here and I'm running it directly into the breadboard. So now on this particular side of the breadboard itself, I have power that goes all the way down. This is this vertical here. And any wire that I plug into any row of this, as long as I hop from one to the other, so I will hop from here and plug the power into here, and then my devices will plug into here and then power out to the device as such. Now, there's a few things that I want us to take a look at, part of this project here, that I think that will be very beneficial to us. Going to remove this for a moment and we'll come back to it. But we're going to be using those two devices. We're going to be using our power supply, we're going to be using our breadboard, we're going to be using our motor. Now, there are a couple of kits that you can get. One of the first ones is a simple resistor kit, and you can see where I got this from online. I'll definitely post the links in the description below so that you can find it on the channel. Then we have inside the resistor kit, you have different colors. You have your colors, as you can see here on the legend, and it tells you the information that you would need there, as well as the number of pieces for each device. You can see they're individually wrapped into different packets. Now, I haven't opened most of these yet because I haven't gotten that deep into it, but you can see this right here is there. Now, any purchase that you do on the channel associated with this definitely helps the channel out. So I do, as an Amazon affiliate, I do get a portion of that commission back, which helps me run the channel, helps me buy more things in order to do these cool videos. So definitely patronize the channel if you don't mind. And another piece to the kit is going to be the LEDs, and these are really cool. What these pretty much would do is it will allow you to have a different portion and sections of the screen so that you can see all the different diodes associated with it. You have your different colors all the way from your whites to your greens as well. You can see the different number of pieces there, as well as the different voltage depending on which one that you have. They're all different shapes and sizes as well, and they're neatly organized into sectioned off compartments here. Now it is best that you do keep these inside here, inside the different trays until you use them. So for example, if you look at the whites for here, that's going to be the first slot. As well as you look at the second yellow, you're going to have them down into here, right here. So you can see them all, are they all different colors? And these are still the greens right here. They just have a clear glass type figure to them, but you also have them down there at the bottom too. So we're going to use one of those just so we can get an indication on the light. So without further ado, people, let's go ahead and jump to it on the channel. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set out my breadboard itself. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring in my battery pack. Now, just make sure that your batteries are charged for that portion there, because you will actually need that. All right, so now as we're getting into this, I have my battery here, okay? And remember, the battery is what I'm going to be using. So one of the first things I want to do, I want to get one of my diodes. I'm going to choose green because I feel like green is a pretty cool color to let me know of an indication. And the diodes here, I like to use these, or sorry, the LEDs, I like to use these as an indicator that I have a power source, okay? So I'm going to put this about right here. And this is going to let me know whether or not I have power. I'm trying to make sure that I definitely have this in there really good. Because if it doesn't show up, that means I don't have it neatly tucked in there. Okay. So that's fitted down in there pretty good. And you can see it here. See that? So I have it on my positive and one side going to the negative side. That's going to let me know if I have an electric current going through this. I take the other side, I plug it directly into here. Remember, my red is going to go on my left, and my black, my positive is going to go on the left, which is the red side, and the blue side is going to be our negative side. I'll plug that down into there. Okay, so now that I have everything plugged in, remember, you have an on and off switch on this right here. So you see that on and off. So if I power that on, that lets me know that I have my power there. Sorry, that came out. Let me plug that back in. So I now have power going to here, okay? Now that I have power going to here, I'm going to power this off for a second. I'm going to take my wiring. Now, you can create your own wiring, or you can actually buy these pre-sorted in different colors. But what this is basically going to do is this is going to help me jump power over to my board itself. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into that. All right, so here is a simple experiment that you can do. And I really want you all to really pay attention to this, because this is going to be really neat. So you see we have our power here. So what we're going to do is I want to be able to jump the power source to both sides of the board. You can pick any portion of this that you want, but I'm going to go from my positive to my positive. And I'm going to use my other You can use any color you want. Say I'm going to use blue. I'm going to go from my negative to my negative. Okay? See that bottom part? I'm just jumping the power to both sides so that way I can use from either portion. Then I'm going to select slot number 30. So we got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So I'm going to go from my positive here on this side to my positive on 30. You follow me? Then I'm going to go on 30 as well for my negative on this side. Negative on 30 to negative on 30. Then I'm going to take on any portion of this, I'm just going to go for my positive. And this is going to go out to my device, my motor here, and my negative on this side. And there's many different ways that you can do this, you all. So what should happen is when I power this on, I should get power. And then I will plug this directly onto my motor. And my motor should turn on. Should. Okay, let's check my connections. I'm going to go to the end here. And then I'm going to go to here. There we go. Okay. So I had to put them all in the same row here. So that's what I had to do here. So we got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So I have to do them all in the same row. See that? See the power? So I did all of that to power this, or I could have totally avoided all of this right here. And I could have just went straight from here. Could have did my positive and negative in terms of power. I could have ran it to the device. All you're doing is pretty much creating a circuitry. That's all you're doing with these. And that, people, today concludes today's episode on the introduction to a breadboard, your wiring, as well as your LEDs and your different resistors and components. I'll post the information in the description for you all to take advantage of the purchases, as those do indeed help out the channel. Like, listen, and subscribe. Give Tech 101, aka Black Mantle. Look forward to talking and bringing more content to you soon.